With the WINN FM News, I am Kevin Brown.
And I am Yolana Weeks.
Our top stories: St. Kitts and Nevis embarks on cybersecurity training initiative to fortify digital future. St. Kitts Music Festival Committee announces full lineup for Summer Festival. Attorney Craig Tuckett slapped with 3 counts of perverting the court of justice. Kevin Big Cheese Grant sentenced to 7 months for larceny.
The World Bank's observations hint at a need for a more skilled, trained, and adaptable workforce in the Caribbean.
Guyana Defense Force adjusts posture at border locations. Beyond the lesson plan, concerns mount in Jamaica with reports of female students targeting male teachers. Internationally, millions of undocumented migrants face deportation in the U.S. Now, the details. On February 18, 2025, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis officially inaugurated the Cybersecurity Training Initiative in a decisive move to bolster its digital infrastructure and empower its citizens. The ambitious program, which will initially enroll 100 participants, is designed to cultivate a skilled workforce capable of navigating and securing the increasingly complex digital landscape, enhancing national resilience and fostering economic opportunities. The initiative arrives at a critical juncture as nations worldwide grapple with escalating cyber threats and the imperative to safeguard digital assets. Prime Minister and National Security Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, underscored the program's multifaceted objectives during the launch. Dr. Drew emphasized the initiative's role in preparing young people for the evolving world of work.
Our young people today are seeking opportunities, and opportunities that are meaningful. Not an opportunity just for an opportunity's sake. I will say that we have over 3,000 people on the STEP program. That is unsustainable for a small country like ours. So it means we have to start a process of creating real opportunities to transition our people into jobs, meaningful jobs. And these jobs will also bring with them higher salaries or higher wages and more opportunities. And so I want to encourage our young people to really take advantage of this.
The Prime Minister highlighted the importance of transitioning individuals from unsustainable programs like STEP into roles that offer higher wages and career advancement. Dr. Drew further elaborated on the strategic vision behind the initiative, linking it to the broader goal of establishing St. Kitts and Nevis as a sustainable island state. He noted the pivotal role of information technology in the government's 7-pillar plan.
If St. Kitts and Nevis is to really build out a sustainable island state, and we understand that IT, when you look at our 7 pillars that we have presented, IT is the glue that brings all of the pillars together. The pillars don't work unless IT works.
To this end, the government has partnered with Cybernetica, an Estonian firm renowned for its expertise in digital transformation to enhance the nation's e-governance capabilities.
But if we are to become an e-government, we have to become an e-government that has the infrastructure to defend itself. But an e-government cannot function without the people being a part of it. So we just can't train our persons in cybersecurity and put them to work. But our people must become sensitized and aware about cybersecurity.
This highlights the need for cybersecurity professionals and a citizenry well-versed in cyber awareness. The Prime Minister also touched upon the imperative of building internal capacities to mitigate the impact of global geopolitical and economic fluctuations.
But in establishing a sustainable island state, it makes us more secure, more resilient, less vulnerable. And of course, sustainability, it says it. We can sustain the living standards that we have in St. Kitts and Nevis and be able to improve upon them going forward.
By prioritizing technological advancement and cybersecurity, St. Kitts and Nevis aims to insulate itself from external shocks and ensure its citizens' higher standard of living. Dr. Drew encouraged participants to approach the training seriously, viewing it as an investment in their future and the nation's technological prowess. Naima Hazel, Permanent Secretary in the Prime Minister's office, echoed the Prime Minister's sentiments, emphasizing the holistic nature of the government's development agenda.
I know sometimes you see it in pieces, you hear him talk about it on the radio or on the news or on his roundtable, but now we want you to see that it is all coming together.
She encouraged citizens to sign up for the initiative via official social media channels. Hazel announced an upcoming information session at Kuna on February 25, 2025, allowing interested individuals to learn more and address their queries.
We thank you for giving us the opportunity to do the good we can do.
Encapsulating the government's commitment to empowering its people and advancing the nation's digital transformation.
The 48th regular meeting of CARICOM heads of government opened with pressing global and regional issues taking center stage, including the impact of climate change, ongoing violence in Haiti, regional free movement, and a broader discussion of Caribbean unity. The meeting, held in Barbados, comes at a crucial time as geopolitical challenges continue to shape the global landscape. In her first address to the CARICOM community, President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, emphasized the need for a unified approach to tackling climate change, which disproportionately affects small island states in the Caribbean. She also advocated for a review of multi-interest partnerships that could benefit the region.
Where competing visions of the world order are leading to a more transactional approach to global affairs, where the disruptive potential of intense competition is rising, where there is no win-win situation but a win-lose situation is what is the right. In this world, Europe's offer is clear. Let's have a look for shared values, for mutual interests, and work together. This is the call of today. And our two regions have so much in common. In the last few years, our investment partnership has become stronger and deeper, first and foremost on decarbonization and nature protection. Europe understands how the fight against climate change is paramount to the Caribbean states, because it is intrinsically linked to your very existence. We understand how fundamental it is for small islands to have a front seat at the table where you can be the strong voice you deserve to be.
Meanwhile, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged countries to take decisive action to curb rising global temperatures, warning that small island nations are bearing the brunt of the climate crisis.
This year, countries must deliver new national climate action plans ahead of COP30 that align with that goal, with the G20, the big polluters, leading the way. This is a chance for the world to get a grip on emissions. And it is also a chance for the Caribbean to seize the benefits of clean power, to tap your vast renewables potential, and to turn your back on costly fossil fuel imports.
Premier Ruben Meade called for a reassessment of CARICOM's role, questioning its effectiveness and urging leaders to ensure the organization is meeting its objectives.
Can we truly say that CARICOM works for us, or is even understood by the person on the bus from Bridgetown to Oistins, or from Roseau to Grand Bay, or from Salem to St. John's? We do need to make decisions and implement them within the agreed timelines. However, in order for us to be in a position to do so, it is time for us to examine and review the institutions and organs of CARICOM. In order for us to make meaningful change, we need to review the CARICOM institutions, and we can do that using local resources.
CARICOM Chair and Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley highlighted major global challenges in her address, stressing the need for solutions that empower small island states to have a stronger voice in international discussions.
We know firsthand how the world has become an awful place since the pandemic, where all of the warts and all of the scars and all of the cuts have become very, very clear and open for everyone to see, and where effectively the world has said that might is right, and where small states are often excluded because our orders are too minuscule to command attention. We live in a world where fake news is now the order of the day. And day by day, leaders, not just of governments, but of churches, of private sector, of households, have to worry about the fact that someone will post something that probably is not true about them. We live in a world where the opportunity for facts and shared values in common spaces is becoming rarer and rarer, simply because everyone is into their own echo chamber.
Officials from the St. Kitts Music Festival have unveiled the final wave of artists set to perform at this year's highly anticipated event, completing an exciting and diverse lineup. The lineup includes Abina Amory, Virgil Hodge, Ideli Napi, Romain Virgo, Barrington Levy, Trilla G, Signal Ban, Young Breda, Patrice Roberts, Colin Wyatt, Christopher Martin, Javinci, Chronic Law, Spice, St. Kitts Steel Orchestra, Collision Band, Akayu Sweet and Tobap, DJ Tero, Shensia, Jennifer Hudson, and Vibes Cartel. Festival chair Alistair Williams described the event as a true celebration of St. Kitts and Nevis and its vibrant culture, emphasizing its significance in shaping the local entertainment industry.
This festival represents not only a celebration of music, but also a celebration of our destination, creativity, and collaboration. We are excited to present an exceptional lineup of talent featuring both emerging artists and established icons. Our stages will be alive with diverse sounds and resonate with audience from all walks of life.
Tourism Minister Marsha Henderson highlighted the festival's substantial economic benefits, noting that it plays a key role in driving tourism by boosting visitor arrivals and increasing hotel occupancy.
The St. Kitts Music Festival is more than just a celebration of music. In fact, it is an economic powerhouse. For years, this festival has sustained our people during what is traditionally the shoulder period of the tourism season.
She emphasized that the event helps to put heads in the bed as the surge in tourists leads to rise in accommodation as overall tourism spend. Traditionally a slower period for tourism, June has seen consistent growth in arrivals, largely due to the festival's expanding reputation and appeal.
Since the closure of the sugar factory and the sugar industry in 2005, our mission has been clear: to positively transform lives. The lives of you, the citizens and residents of our beautiful Federation, St. Kitts and Nevis, through the economic benefits derived from hosting this world-class event. It is for this reason we continue to employ strategies to transform St. Kitts into a world-class destination through the addition of airlift, hotels, tourism-related businesses, and the creation and marketing of key events such as the festival.
Minister Henderson also underscored the importance of featuring local artists, explaining that their inclusion not only showcases homegrown talent, but also fosters national pride.
When I received the mandate from the people of St. Kitts and Nevis in August 2022, it was clear that there was a need to not only rebuild the industry, but to build resilience in the industry. So over the past 2 years, we have seen a steady increase in our air arrivals during the month of June specifically, with the destination welcoming 10,465 passengers in 2023 and 14,282 in 2024.
With an electrifying lineup and growing international recognition, the 2025 St. Kitts Music Festival is set to deliver another unforgettable experience for music lovers worldwide from June 26 through 28.
Craig Tuckett of Bird Rock, St. Kitts, has been formally charged with 3 counts of perverting the court of justice. The charges stemmed from offenses allegedly committed on June 10th and 30th, 2024. Tuckett, an attorney at law, was officially arrested and charged at the Bastia police station on February 18th, 2025. This follows an initial charge on February 23rd, 2024. The charges against Tuckett are for attempting to pervert the court of justice. In a recent separate case involving another person of the legal fraternity, Crown Counsel Chantrice Dorset of St. Kitts was also arrested and charged with multiple offenses, including attempting to pervert the court of justice. These charges are related to assisting a fugitive in fleeing the Federation to shield him from investigations, including a murder investigation. Dorset faces additional charges such as accessory after the fact to murder, misconduct in public office, and corruption. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Adlai Smith, acknowledged the charges against Dorset with regret, emphasizing that she is presumed innocent until proven guilty. The DPP urges the public to avoid speculation and inaccurate information that could prejudice a fair trial. The office also stated that any law enforcement officers found leaking information related to any cases will face severe disciplinary and legal consequences. Kevin Big Cheese Grant, a Fort Thomas Road Bastia resident, has been sentenced to 7 months in His Majesty's prison after being convicted of larceny. The sentencing occurred on February 18, 2025 at the District A Magistrate Court in Bastia. Her Honor Sherry-Ann Liberd Charles presided over the case and delivered the sentence to imprison Grant for the specified time.
It has been challenging to match the skills developed to the labor market in the Caribbean region. The World Bank recognized that prospective employees do not possess the necessary skills and technological advancements employers need. Post-secondary education has failed to adequately prepare the youth for employment, highlighting the need for an adaptable, more trained, qualified, and better equipped workforce. Moreover, basic observation and assessments show that the education system in the Caribbean region is under threat. Dr. Victoria Levin, senior economist in the World Bank's Education Global Practice, shared a presentation about education in the Caribbean and discussed the matter in more depth.
Moving into the quality of post-secondary education, we unfortunately do not have any assessments to examine this issue, but there is an observed mismatch between education and labor market needs, as employers report shortages and inadequate skill levels. That employers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines said that half of the difficulties they faced in filling job openings came from applicants not having required skills and qualifications. And another 20% came from applicants not having required social-emotional skills.
There is a noticeable gender imbalance, limited adoption of digital learning, and high immigration rate that has impacted the Caribbean's workforce, Levin discussed.
Unlike in basic education, there is a significant gender imbalance in post-secondary enrollment, with a predominance of young women enrolling in general education programs. Interestingly, for technical and vocational post-secondary programs, these are still dominated by men, even in these countries. Another challenge is limited adoption of digital learning, despite the recent experience of COVID-19. And finally, high-skilled immigration poses a challenge as well.
To assist the Caribbean with education transformation, the World Bank provides analysis vital to designing evidence-based policies and programs. This includes assessing teachers and teaching practices, assessing digital skills and readiness, evaluating the impact of specific interventions to determine their effectiveness, and providing financing or access to financing for investment projects. The support spans early childhood education to post-secondary education.
We also work with governments to address the observed gender disparities by focusing on student retention for boys and identifying barriers that young men face in accessing tertiary education. Finally, some projects focus on improving the quality and relevance of technical and vocational education and training so that students can graduate from these programs with the skills they need to succeed in labor markets.
In regional news, Guyana Defense Force adjusts posture at border locations. Guyana News Source reports.
The Guyana Defense Force has made moves to significantly adjust its posture on the western border and surrounding communities. This follows the attack on a GDF patrol in the Cayuny River that left 6 servicemen nursing gunshot wounds. In a telephone interview with News Source, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Brigadier Omar Khan, said a number of things are being addressed with regards to the posture of the GDF at border locations.
The incident that occurred demands of us to transition into a new defense posturing, which will entail a number of things. And I want to assure you that it's being addressed. as we're talking. I may not be able to go into the specifics, but certainly that incident has demanded of us to address a number of things. And to tell you, our security posture on the border will be enhanced.
Since the extraction of the 6 soldiers who were shot, the GDF has reinforced its presence along the Cayuni River and in other sections of the border with Venezuela. The gunmen who attacked the GDF ranks are suspected to have been members of a criminal gang in Venezuela. There are reports that have indicated that at least 3 of the Venezuelan gunmen were arrested in Venezuela after they sought medical help for wounds they suffered during the attack. The government of Guyana has expressed its outrage over the incident and has also informed its international partners. For its part, the government of Venezuela appears to be blaming Guyana over the incident, and in an official release has accused Guyana and its international partners of resorting to what the Venezuelan government called disinformation and propaganda. Guyana's Minister of Foreign Affairs summoned the Venezuelan ambassador on Tuesday and made known to him the Guyana government's outrage and concern over the incident. President Irfan Ali is expected to raise the issue during meetings with other CARICOM heads of government at the CARICOM Summit, which opened in Barbados. Before leaving for Barbados, the president visited the injured soldiers and relayed the Guyana government's support for them. The Guyana Defense Force, in a statement, said the injured ranks suffered penetrating trauma due to gunshot wounds, and 3 of them required surgical intervention. The GDF has also said it remains steadfast in safeguarding Guyana's territorial integrity.
Beyond the lesson plan, concerns mount in Jamaica with reports of female students targeting male teachers. Television Jamaica reports.
Schools in Jamaica are known to take a no-nonsense approach when it comes to inappropriate relations between students and teachers, often initiated by the adults. But what happens when the table turns?
There are concerns that students are making sexual advances at teachers.
Ramada Lyons explores the issue in this Primetime News special report, Beyond the Lesson Plan.
Teachers get notes from students all the time, but the contents differ. For one male educator, all his years of teacher's college couldn't prepare him. A note from a female student left on his desk in the staff room read,
"Me like you, sir, and I know you like me too. We can meet up 3 o'clock.
The sender, a grade 10 student, age 15. The man reported the issue to the guidance counselor and the principal. The girl was brought in and spoken to. He thought this was the end.
Me not hold it against you. Me think you have a big and I'm not a virgin and not a child. Don't feel like it done because you report me."
That's what she told him when she returned. Linvern Wright, president of the Jamaica Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, says this is a serious issue.
There's an obnoxious boldness that has taken over many students now. They really figure that they can't say anything regarding sex or even just tell anybody anything. And it's an unfortunate phenomenon that is really taking over. And I don't think that it started just now. It has seeped in.
Another high school teacher recalled when a female student did not complete an assignment. When he attempted to reprimand her, she suggested a solution.
Her response was, "Sir," and I quote, "Sir, me can give you a piece for make up for the assignment." So honestly, I was flabbergasted in the moment to the point where I did not say anything. I just stared at her.
She was a grade 9 student. Now the man says he was put in a position where he had to ensure his back was covered.
It was reported to a female supervisor and the issue was dealt with.
Now, there have been reports. January 2025, a 27-year-old Portland teacher was charged with 2 counts of having sexual intercourse with a person under 16 and 2 counts of grievous sexual assault. December 2024, a male teacher at an all-girls school in St. Andrew was arrested, part of an investigation into allegations of sexual activities with a student. March 2024, a 42-year-old male teacher from St. Catherine was charged after reports that he held down a female student on more than one occasion and sexually assaulted her whilst she was attending classes. 3 different cases, 3 different parishes. Another 12 years earlier, 2013, a male teacher at a school in the corporate area was arrested and charged for carnal abuse. The Center for Investigations of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse said the 35-year-old teacher allegedly had sexual intercourse with an 11-year-old student multiple times between October 2008 and February 2010. Now, this teacher says the responsibility is on the adults to do what's right. He recalled another incident he swiftly reported after a grade 8 student sent him naked pictures.
I saw the message, but my read receipts were off. So I opened the message, took a screenshot of it, right? And I waited a couple hours. And ultimately, the student deleted the messages, the photos rather.
Mr. Wright says the lewd remarks being made by students generally shouldn't be brushed aside and treated frivolously.
The sexual advances some of them make on other students or on teachers or just sexually explicit behavior is something that many teachers are disgusted with. As has been intimated, many teachers face this kind of bold obnoxiousness from many of them, regarding sexual advances, and are fearful because in many instances they deny it, the parents deny it, and sometimes the notion of child rights seems to come down on the side of they're just being irresponsible. But we know that it's not about that.
In part 2, the story of female teachers who endure similar issues. Ramarda Lyons, TVJ News.
We now bring you these international reports.
U.S. President Donald Trump's crackdown on undocumented migrants is continuing to cause fear in communities across the country. The president has previously said that he has no choice and that deporting those who are in the country legally is common sense. But there is an economic consequence to these deportations. Many small businesses are owned by undocumented migrants or rely on them as workers. And nowhere is that more true than New York, home to an estimated 500,000 undocumented immigrants, from where our correspondent, Michelle Fleury, sent in this report.
This is the part that makes it nice and toasty.
Sarah E. Marquez came to the US aged 6 years old. She runs this 11-year-old restaurant in Staten Island with her father. For her, the threat of deportation isn't new.
I still feel like I'm being persecuted, like I'm being hunted down.
But it has taken on a new sense of urgency with President Trump's plans for mass deportation and led to some tough conversations with her staff.
I had a cook say to me, I'm scared to go home because I don't know if I will make it home. I don't know if I will be stopped along the way. I've seen business go down. There's much fewer customers coming around.
Despite her family's contributions to the local community, she's worried about the future.
I'm college educated, business owner of multiple businesses. I do right. I'm part of the community. But I'm still considered a criminal because of coming into the country as a child. And I don't have a legal pathway to fix that.
On the same day the Department of Justice sued New York over its immigration policies, a vigil was held in the city to support migrants and promise sanctuary to the undocumented. For those caught up in Donald Trump's immigration crackdown, this isn't just a personal tragedy, it's an economic one for their communities, who rely on their labour, their tax revenues, and the money they spend in local businesses.
Small businesses are the backbone of our economy.
Jessie Lee sees a difference from the last time Trump was in the White House. She's managing director of the Renaissance Project, a non-profit that finances immigrant businesses.
This fear is new. We didn't experience this the first time around, but this time we do see that type of concern.
This one is for birds. Yeah, we trap them and release them.
Raymond Liu runs a business employing 70 people. He came to the US legally from China and understands what motivates people to seek a life here.
I would imagine everybody come to the country, legal or illegal, we want to work hard and, just do well, establish ourselves, right? That's the American dream.
The threats and hurdles are working. People are scared, with immigrant communities feeling the strain. Michelle Fleury, BBC News, New York.
So, what challenges are the over 500,000 black undocumented migrants going through in the United States at the moment? Well, earlier I spoke to Sylvie Bello, the founder of the Cameroon American Council. I began by asking her to explain what immigration actions the Trump administration had taken so far.
Pretty much just revived some of his old first-term policies, things like remain in Mexico, which basically means that if you're at the border, predominantly the southern border, you just sit there and wait for asylum. And if you're granted asylum, then you come into the United States. So that he just revived. Things like the African ban, or as others have called it, the Muslim ban. We at the Cameroon American Council, we call it the African ban because many of the countries on that ban, Somalia, Libya, are African countries, right? And with the Muslim ban / African ban, pretty much he's saying that people from predominantly Muslim countries will have just a harder time getting through. So those are some of the policies that he just revived from Trump 1. President Biden, for instance, refused to extend TPS for South Sudan and Cameroon. We don't expect Trump to extend it either, but we're fighting for it though. During Trump 1, what Trump did was that he actually cut TPS, and TPS, for those who may not know, is temporary protected status. It's for undocumented people who are in the U.S. So even with Trump 1, he cut TPS for Ebola-affected countries, Guinea, Liberia, Sierra Leone. Some of the new things, though, that he's introduced is the birthright citizenship, where he's claiming that he can basically, decide that if you're born in the U.S. to parents who are undocumented, you're not a U.S. citizen.
What have they done, in terms of uncertainty for, small business owners, for example, who have hired or are undocumented migrants themselves? How has it affected, how they're doing business in the communities that you interact with?
It has really caused a lot of folks' businesses to shut down. For instance, a lot of construction sites there've been a lot of reports, a lot of construction sites, have been on standstill because those with papers and those without papers don't even come to work. Because when they come to pick you, you don't know who they're going to pick. You don't know who they're going to harass.
You respond to those who say that there were many who were taking advantage of loopholes within the immigration system to stay illegally, to operate illegally in the United States, that everybody must follow the law.
I agree. Everybody must follow the law when the law is applied evenly. So there will be loopholes. Why? Because when you don't apply the law, when there's anti-blackness, when you don't, for instance, there are policies like humanitarian parole. Do you know that Ukraine, within a month of the war in Ukraine was able to get an immigration relief called humanitarian parole. Cameroon has had not one, not two, but 5 armed conflicts. And for the past 10 years, we've been asking for humanitarian parole, right? Take, for instance, right now, when Trump came in, he took out TPS for Venezuela, did not take out TPS for Ukraine. It just goes to show that we have policies that are just not applied evenly. And when there's that kind of unequalness, it would create loopholes for people to survive.
From Argentina's president regretting a social media post to Coinbase feeling the Trump effect. This is Crypto Weekly. Argentinian President Javier Milei is in hot water over a social media post promoting little-known crypto coin Libra. He soon deleted the post and denied any link to the token. But Libra plunged in value, leaving many investors with big losses. Opposition lawmakers said they would push for impeachment over the events, though Milei says he's done nothing wrong. Coinbase beat forecasts for profit over the latest quarter. The crypto exchange was boosted by higher trading volumes for Bitcoin and other tokens following the US election. Trading platform Robinhood got a big boost too. It saw an 8-fold jump in transaction revenue from customers buying and selling crypto. Crypto scams probably hit a new high in 2024. Analytics firm Chainalysis estimates revenue from such cons could hit a record $12.4 billion once all the data is in. It says 2024 was the year of so-called pig butchering. That's a scam where perpetrators cultivate a relationship with people and then persuade them to take part in fraudulent schemes. Crypto is making inroads into elite sport. Formula One team Aston Martin says it's signed a multi-year sponsorship deal with Coinbase, paid entirely in cryptocurrency. Aston says that's a first for the sport, and it will be paid using USDC, a so-called stablecoin pegged to the dollar. Meanwhile, shares in Italian soccer team Juventus jumped after it said crypto firm Tether had bought a minority stake. And a judge has put the US Securities and Exchange Commission's case against Binance on hold. The watchdog and the crypto exchange had both requested the pause. They say a review of regulations by the new US administration could cast a new light on the case. Some market watchers see it as an early sign that the SEC is becoming more crypto-friendly under Trump.
Shares of Walmart dropped as much as 7% Thursday morning after the world's largest retailer forecast sales and profit below Wall Street's expectations. Walmart's disappointing outlook for fiscal year 2026 follows several quarters of solid growth, which helped propel the retailer's share price roughly 72% in 2024, with a new record high hit just last week. But Thursday's guidance suggests Walmart now expects inflation-weary consumers to pull back on spending. It also hints at how the company expects to fare under President Trump's additional tariffs on goods made in China and the threat of 25% tariffs on products made in Mexico and Canada. Still, Walmart's chief financial officer said he continues to view U.S. shoppers as resilient and focused on value. While retail sales overall in January experienced their biggest monthly decline in 2 years, Walmart sales actually surpassed analysts' estimates, powered by higher-income shoppers. Shares of rivals Amazon and Target moved lower Thursday after Walmart's report.
You were listening to the WINN FM 98.9 newscast. Our top stories were: St. Kitts and Nevis embarks on cybersecurity training initiative to fortify digital future. St. Kitts Music Festival Committee announces full lineup for Summer Festival. Attorney Craig Tuckett slapped with 3 counts of perverting the court of justice. Kavin Big Cheese Grant sentenced to 7 months for larceny.
The World Bank's observations hint at a need for a more skilled, trained, and adaptable workforce in the Caribbean.
Guyana Defense Force adjusts posture at border locations. Beyond the lesson plan, concerns mount in Jamaica with reports of female students targeting male teachers. Internationally, millions of undocumented migrants face deportation in the U.S. Thank you for listening.